another video. Today I'm going to be taking a look at and predicting the divisional rounds of the NFL playoffs. And I'm going to be using this nifty little tool that I used last time. As you can see, I have the results of all of last week's games already put into it and ready to go. So we're going to start off with the Bengals versus the Titans. Now, they did not play any games against each other this season, so I do not have any matchup history for this season to go off of, so we're just going to come in here to the stats. When it comes to the offense, yards per game, you have Tennessee at 16th, Cincinnati at 10th, a difference of about 24 yards there. Passing yards, that's where there's a big difference. Tennessee has 24th, Cincinnati is all the way up at 7th. Joe Burrow absolutely slinging it this season. Rushing yards, another big difference here. Tennessee is up in 5th, and Cincinnati is down at 23rd. It also must be stated, however, that Tennessee did not have Derrick Henry for most of this year, and they will be getting Derrick Henry back in the playoffs. So, he'll be coming off an injury, but he has had a lot of rest, so we'll see how good he looks. I would expect him to be his usual dominant self, honestly. Points per game, that's going in favor of the Bengals to the tune of about 2.5 points more per game than the Titans. And third down percentage, that is where the Titans outshine the Bengals. They convert on about 4% more of their third downs. But now we get to the defense. And this is where I think the game will be won or lost, as right here. I think both offenses will be really good in this game. It's going to come down to this part right here. In yards per game, the Titans stop more yards per game than the Bengals. They're in 13th. The Bengals are 20th. Passing yards, they're about equal, so I'm just going to give them a wash on that. Rushing yards, Tennessee is tied. Tennessee is at the second most in the league for stopping rushing yards. The Bengals are at 5th. Points per game, Tennessee is at 5th. Cincinnati is 17th. And at third down percentage, Tennessee up at 6th. The Bengals at 22nd. Then yeah, they were both the first seed of their respective divisions, the AFC North and South respectively. Tennessee Titans won 2 more games. Comparing the quarterback stats, Joe Burrow has almost 1,000 more yards than Tannehill and 13 more touchdowns. Jamar Chase has 8 more touchdowns than the leading receiver for the Titans. But I'm not sure how much those things are going to matter coming into this game. In my opinion, this entire game hinges on Derrick Henry and how good he is going to be. If Derrick Henry is not fully recovered, if he's rusty, I think the Titans lose. The Bengals are extremely hot right now. They have a lot of momentum. They're coming off the first playoff win for the franchise in like a million years. Young team, fast team. I just think they have a lot of belief and excitement right now, and I think that will translate. But the Titans, they have that X factor, and I would say that on defense they are slightly better. So I'm going to assume that Derrick Henry will be back at pretty much 100% or as close to it as he could be right now. And I think I have to give the edge to the Tennessee Titans in this matchup. Now, my personal rooting interest would be for Cincinnati. The Bengals have been my favorite team to watch this season, especially with my team, the Seahawks, not being very good. But I just have to listen to what my brain is telling me on this one, and I think it is the Tennessee Titans winning. Bills versus Chiefs. So let's come up here and we want to go Buffalo Bills versus Kansas City Chiefs and see how those games panned out this season. Alright, they had two games against each other this season. Wait, what is this? AFC Championship game. Wait, what is this? This first one. Oh, this is from last season. Okay. Well, I'm not going to count that. That is last season. So we're going to look at this one. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. This was in week 6, and the Bills won by 18. Thursday, October 7th of 2021. They won by 18 in that game. Is there a better way? Let's do the scoreboard view. I think this is a better way to look at it. Josh Allen, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I think this was at that part of the season early on where the Chiefs were just not looking very good. I think there was a lot of question marks, especially coming off that loss to the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Because week 6, if I remember correctly, is when that was happening. So the only time this season that those two teams have matched up, it was a bit of a blowout for the Bills. But let's look at their comparable stats here. Both of them were the first seed in their conferences or their divisions. The Chiefs won one more game than the Bills. Yards per game, they're 3rd and 7th. The Bills will be first on this order. Passing yards, 4th and 9th. So Bills beating them on passing yards there. However, the Chiefs are a much better rushing team. They get about 15 more yards per game on the rush. They're 6th in the league. And only 0.2 points differentiating their points per game. 28.2 for the Bills, 28.4 for the Chiefs. And third down percentage, the Bills are best in the league there. So offensively, we're dealing with two just powerhouses. They're two dynamite offenses matching up here. Then we get to the defensive stats per game, and this is where it gets a little bit... Excuse me, I had it backwards this whole time, didn't I? Wow. The Chiefs were 3rd because the Bills were 1st, so I figured they'd be on the left. So Chiefs get more yards per game, Chiefs get more passing yards per game, Bills get more rushing yards, Bills get slightly more points per game, Chiefs are slightly better on 3rd down. We had that reversed. But then we come to the defense, and this is again where I think all the difference is going to be, kind of like the Titans with the Bengals. Yards per game, that goes in Buffalo's favor by a big margin. Almost 100 fewer yards per game allowed. They're 1st in the league compared to Kansas City, who's all the way down in 27th. Passing yards, again, that's way in the Bills' favor. Best in the league defense for passing yards. 27th for the Chiefs, allowing almost 100 more passing yards per game. Rushing yards, the Bills are not as good here on defense as they are in passing, but they're still better than the Chiefs. And the Bills allow the least points against in the entire league, and the least 3rd down conversions in the entire league. And you look at this defense here, and I don't know how the Chiefs can break through this, because you have Josh Allen, who has a dynamite arm. Like, he can throw big arm, but he also is a big runner. He can run the ball. They have good running backs and stuff there in Buffalo as well. And we look at these defensive stats, that does not bode well, because if you have an RPO with Josh Allen, he can kill you in the air if you're the Chiefs, because your passing defense is terrible. And he can kill you on the ground because your running defense is terrible. And Josh Allen is one of the most dynamic dual threat quarterbacks in the league. And if you're a dual threat and the defense that you're facing cannot stop either threat, I think you're going to win pretty comfortably. Now, the Chiefs' defense is really good, or the Chiefs' offense is really good. It's just that their defense is abysmal. So I think the best way that the Chiefs can win this game is if for some reason the Buffalo Bills' defense just stays at home. If they don't bring their A game, if they give up stupid penalties, if, they're just not covering their men well, then I think that is the Chiefs' path to victory. But I think it's unlikely. This is a big game for the Bills. They know, how important this is. They're gonna show up. And I suspect, I don't want to say it's gonna be easy, because it's never easy in the playoffs, but I want to say the Bills take that. Setting up, as you can see, a conference championship between the Bills and the Titans. Alright, moving on to the divisional round, we have the Rams versus the Bucks. The Rams versus the Bucks. Let's see if they played each other this season. I can't recall if they did, but we'll find out here. They did, okay. Buccaneers versus Rams, week 4. The Rams won by 10. Tom Brady, 1 touchdown, 432 yards. Matthew Stafford, 4 touchdowns, 343 yards. And then let's look at the comparison here. Again, both the first seeds. And we have the Rams on the right, so I won't make that mistake again. So offensive stats, Tampa Bay, second best in the entire league for yards. They are the first best in the entire league for passing yards. Rushing yards, they're down in 26th. Points per game, they're second. Third down percentage, they're second. Going over to the Rams, yards per game, they're 9th. Passing yards, they are 5th. Rushing yards, they are 25th. Points per game, they're tied for 7th. And third down percentage, they're 7th. So Tampa Bay, on paper, does have a better offense than the Rams. And come to the defensive stats, Tampa Bay also beating the Rams there as well. Except for where was it? Oh no, literally beating them in every category on defense as well. Now, there are some factors here going into this game. I think Cooper Kupp, as you can see right here, I think him and OBJ are going to kind of be your offensive X factors for the Rams. If those two can really pop off and those two can really have solid games, the two of them, if they can make plays on offense, if they can extend plays, if they can do that kind of stuff, I think that's the Rams' best shot at winning. I don't think you're going to stop Tampa Bay on defense. I think what you're going to do is beat them on the scoreboard. I don't think you're going to stop them. You're going to have to outshoot them. Which, as you can see, Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady, similar touchdowns this season, although Brady has far more yards than Stafford. And another thing you have to consider, and this is why I always say don't bet against Tom Brady. Tom Brady's been here before. The moment is not going to be too big for him. This is, he knows what he's doing. He's Tom Brady. But Matthew Stafford, this is only his second ever playoff game in his entire career. You have to remember, he was stuck in Detroit all those years. He had no success. And that wild card win last week, that was his first playoff win in his entire career. So the pressure on Stafford is much higher than it is on Brady. Stafford is new to this, and Tom Brady is Tom Brady, right? So I think that is something you do have to consider going into this matchup. And I think the Rams have had a really good run to this point. I think they've been a great team. They proved a lot of people wrong, I think, because I think they're kind of getting clowned on a little bit at the beginning of this season. But I'm never going to bet against Tom Brady. I think that the Rams are going to be overwhelmed by the offense of the Buccaneers. And even though the Buccaneers are missing some players due to injury, I just think there's still too much to overcome. And I'm going to go in favor of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now we come to our final game, which is the Niners versus the Packers. Again, let's come up here. Let's go. Green Bay versus San Francisco. And we have one game this season. September 26th, it was in week 4, where the Packers won by 2. Aaron Rodgers, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Garoppolo, 257 yards, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns. And we come here, the Packers and the Niners. The Niners are the 3rd seed, so they're the first team we're looking at here who is not the first seed in their division. And the Packers are the first seed from the NFC North, of course. Look at their offensive stats per game. San Francisco on the right, Green Bay on the left. Yards per game, that goes in favor of San Francisco. Passing yards, that goes to Green Bay. Rushing yards, that goes to San Francisco. Points per game, that goes to Green Bay. Third down percentage, that goes to Green Bay. Then you go to defensive stats per game, and this is all San Francisco across the board. Their defense is, I don't want to say much better than the Green Bay defense, but it is markedly better than the Green Bay defense. And I don't know, Aaron Rodgers is most likely going to be the MVP this season. I think it's basically already semi-confirmed he's the MVP this season. And 17 touchdowns more than Jimmy Garoppolo. They haven't given out the MVP award, right? Like, I haven't missed it, did I? There's no way I missed that. Yeah, they're still doing the predictions, that's right. I mean, obviously it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, though. He's a minus 400, so yeah, he's going to be the MVP. And the one thing, though, that makes me nervous about San Francisco is Jimmy Garoppolo's decision-making. It feels like at least once per game, Jimmy Garoppolo is throwing a bad pass, a bad interception, just making a stupid play. Jimmy Garoppolo's good for at least one of those per game. And that's something that Aaron Rodgers doesn't really have in his game. He doesn't make many bad decisions. I think if Jimmy Garoppolo plays solid, does exactly what he needs to do, nothing more, nothing less, and San Francisco relies on their defense to stop Green Bay, I think that San Francisco could not cruise, but they could get a victory here. Even though I think Green Bay is probably the slight favorite, but however, I don't know if Jimmy G throws a bad pick at the wrong time, and it's either a pick six or it gives Aaron Rodgers the ball in a good position and in an important part of the game, then well, it's Green Bay, and I think that Jimmy Garoppolo might be liable to do that. I feel like, also, wait, isn't he hurt? I could have sworn Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt. Hold on. I could have sworn I saw this. Jimmy Garoppolo injury. Feeling out shoulder in practice. 49ers. Jimmy G confident will play. Ambry Thomas is a bone bruise on his knee. Limited QB Jimmy Garoppolo shoulder thumb. Let's see. Some early line movement brought the number down to plus 4.5, a sign that smart football people who wager a lot of money are betting on the Niners. Then on Tuesday, that line jumped back to plus 6 at DraftKings Sportsbook. 49ers opened up as a 5-point underdog. I could have sworn. Hold on, let's go to the NFL subreddit. Where was it? I could have sworn I just saw something like yesterday about I'm not stopping till I find this. I could have sworn I saw it the other day. Man. Next question at Jimmy Garoppolo. What's bothering you more, the shoulder or the thumb? Garoppolo, yes. Okay. Yeah, you know what? This is the one I was looking for. Texted someone in San Francisco about 90 minutes ago asking about Jimmy G. Lots of rumors the hand and shoulder are not good, like may not start good, and the line has surged market wide to Green Bay -6. Somebody has even more intel. Yeah, if Jimmy Garoppolo is injured, that's Niners. Or that's Packers. I was even kind of leaning Niners, but I'm going to go off of the idea that he's hurt. So even if he does end up playing, Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be 100%. He might even make even worse decisions than usual just because he's hurt. He can't throw the ball as good. He can't move as good. So I'm actually going to go Packers. Maybe that's cheating because I'm using those rumors, but I'm going Packers on that one. And those are my final predictions. Out of our 4 games, I got the Packers, Buccaneers, Bills, and Titans winning. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Leave your comments down below what you think about my predictions. I'm sure that you'll definitely let me know how you think about these. And we'll see. This is ramping up to be an exciting weekend of football, so can't wait to see how these games turn out. Hopefully I go 4 for 4 just for my mental state, but we'll see. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single day. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.